Hey, everybody. Welcome to the pre-game game show, hangout, pre-game hangout show. Yeah. And we're just talking about things. We were starting to talk about Loki, and then Yang Yang was like, it's 6 o'clock. And we're like, let's keep talking about Loki.
This is content. This is content.
The season finale of Loki was today. We're not going to spoil anything. All I'm going to say are two things. One, it's real good and you should watch it. Two, it's like Doctor Who for people who don't know much about Doctor Who.
Oh, interesting.
Or for people who do know a lot about Doctor Who. Yeah. Go watch it. That's what I'm saying. What were you going to say about it, though, Rhiannon?
Oh, I was just saying that usually, like, I can hypothetically get it from a friend, and not that I would do such a thing.
Like a friend or a friend?
But usually it's like Thursday morning, but today I was like, and she's like, it's fine, I'll upload it after work. Hypothetically.
Whoa. Cool. Hope you enjoy. Oh, did you already watch it?
Oh yeah. No,
okay.
like she was like, oh, I'm almost done with work. Here, I'll upload it. And then I was like, all right, what time do we start streaming?
Well, I hope that it really, helps inspire you to solve like a murder mystery. I've got like a pretty, I like to think it's a good one. We'll see how it goes. There'll be a lot of moving pieces. So bring your A games, chug your caffeine now.
Well, I mean, I do escape rooms. I know Aaron does escape rooms.
Oh, excellent. I've also got a couple of puzzles. Rooms.
I don't know that. I never know if I'm actually fun to do escape rooms with, or if I'm just yelling at everybody constantly. But I do them for my birthday every year until the pandemic. And then I did an online one and one that came in a box. I love escape rooms so much.
Well, I mean, you should talk to my sister to get her perspective on it. But I did one of the like murder mystery dinner theater things for one of my birthdays, so it's less participation. But I was I think the only one who solved it, because you can sort of pull it together at the end, like this, Rowena and I, my sister, we like talked it out, the two of us, and the way I remember it is I was like, and she's like, yes, okay, and then added a few things, and then I was like, oh, we should put both our names on it, because it was our solution together. She's like, it's your birthday, you can have the glory or whatever. So I don't know if she feels like she was the one who was like carrying me, but we make a good team. Sister power.
Sister power.
Nice.
Have you all tried any of the virtual online escape rooms during the pandemic?
Yes, but I hate it. Well,
didn't like it.
In all fairness, it wasn't terribly hard.
Oh.
Except for the part where there was an error. That was hard because it was unsolvable. But I don't remember the name of it, so
tell me about one of them. Tell me about one of the puzzles that was easy, just so I can have an internal idea of if my puzzles are up to snuff.
I actually don't really remember doing it. There was a lot of things where it was like, take this picture and figure out, the number you need. But each person who's in this virtual escape room has a different picture. So you're having to describe it to somebody, and they're describing theirs so that you can figure out what number you need, kind of thing. Because you have like another piece. And I thought that was clever. Man, anything that's an anagram, like I'm really good at anagrams. I'm really, really, really good at anagrams.
I also don't have any of that.
So good. But, I mean, I like when I do them and I'm like, look how smart I am. But also, I don't think I'm fun to do anagrams with because of that.
I did a virtual one that was a regular one, but just like enhanced. So they had one of the employees who was inside the room with a GoPro and would follow our directions to like push that lever or look closer at that door or whatever.
I would be
and they had an overlay that had, so if he looked at the door and there was like a series of like numbers, then you got a little like icon on your computer overlay that just had those numbers. So and that was interesting because it was coworkers. And I was the only one who had done escape rooms before. Maybe somebody else who was quiet had also done one. And it was at a party, and a couple people were 2 drinks in. And so I was attempting to convey escape room logic to somebody who was a couple steps behind and would sort of come to a realization, like while we were sort of 2 steps farther along on the puzzle. He's like, oh, we have to fit the pieces together. And I was like, yes, in fact, that's what we're doing.
I did
sorry,
our friend. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying there's 2 things in chat that I wanted to call out. One is Rumpus Imperator pointing out if you want to stump Aaron, just ask her to speak in rhyme. That is a thing I am garbage at, speaking in rhyme on the fly.
Oh, that's all my puzzles actually.
Well, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be real quiet.
Yeah.
And the other way is that Brian Cortillo is in the chat, and he pointed out that we've done True Dungeon. And I was wondering if that, which is sort of escape roomy, although there's no question of whether you're going to get out. It's just, are you going to end up getting pretend eaten by a monster instead?
The answer is usually yes.
But I was wondering if you guys had ever done that or seen it before. But I don't want to throw off Randy's escape room story, because that might go True Dungeon might go veering in a very different direction.
I've never seen True Dungeon.
No, it's fine.
I'd also like to just quickly shout out some viewers, just because we had 2 subs. So thank you so much, Shay. Thank you so much, Vale.
Hey.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. And I see, we see Hostile Eldritch. It's once again in the chat.
Whose weak eye ruined. Yeah. You're welcome.
Hostile, I love your Dungeon Scrawlers tweets. They were delightful.
They're awesome. Thank you very much.
I wanted to share my favorite, most memorable True Dungeon experience, which was about Erin, in fact. She was playing the Dwarf Warrior, and she was extremely pregnant at the time. And she came up with a mechanic that is still canonical in all of my games, which is when a dwarf woman is pregnant, she gets constitution bonuses.
I don't remember that part. I believe it, because I said that I believed that dwarf women have an extended primary labor, because when you're having a baby, right, there's a period where like things start to shift, but you're not like in active labor. So if you go to the hospital at that point, they will send you home. So dwarven women have extended primary labor, and when they hit primary labor, because what they tell you if you're actually a pregnant person, they'll say you should find something else to do, like knit something or work on a project or something to get your mind off the fact that you're getting a little uncomfortable. So that dwarven mothers and dwarven pregnant people go into primary labor, they have to go kill a monster. So I was an extremely pregnant dwarven warrior. Off to kill my pregnancy monster.
That's the height of the mechanical benefits. You were getting advantage on all Constitution saving throws.
But it's fun. It's kind of like a combination. It's like got flavors of escape room because there are parts that are puzzles, and then it's got haunted house parts because there are like rubber monsters that jump out, and then you play bar shuffleboard to fight the monsters, which is
that does sound fun. That sounds awesome.
True Dungeon was very fun for a long time, and then I think we had a poor experience and just stopped going, or it became too popular. And by too popular, by too popular, I don't mean like we're a bunch of yuppies or something. I'm saying it's hard to get tickets. So,
Randy, I know you've been wanting to say something, but I feel like they just talked about pregnancy and murder mysteries. And I just recently had an experience that combined both of them last week, and I thought it was the most bonkers, weird murder mystery I had ever been a part of. Like, if you want to tell your story, like, please do now. I will wait for after you.
I guess I was just gonna say I played with Curtis Chen. You probably know Curtis Chen is like insanely into puzzles and puzzle rooms and stuff
Super
like that.
smart
So I
guy.
played with him and his wife and some of his friends who basically I think helped found like puzzle rooms or something. I don't know. They're like super into
Puzzle
it.
pint.
And-
Puzzle pint.
Puzzle Pint, yeah. And anyway, but like it felt like wandering into a room of like chess experts who are all about like they know the names of all the different kinds of moves and strategies, like all the Russian players who invented them and stuff like that. So you're in a puzzle room and they're going, I don't know, do you think this is like the Niemann Servofskas cryptography pattern, or do you think it's and I'm just like numbers?
Oh boy.
So like, yeah, that's I think if you're gonna play a puzzle room, try and find someone who's like, maybe slightly smarter than you, but not like so much smarter than you that like, or at least in terms of like puzzles and stuff like that, you're just kind of there like while they solve everything.
I like going with people that have like a different thinking style than I do. So like I'm good at certain puzzles and not at all at other ones. So, but I don't try to like
balanced party concept. Yeah, like have people who are good at good at rhyming things. People who are good at other things.
One thing I do like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I have a good friend who's definitely like the tank of like puzzle rooms though. Like they will just run up to every puzzle like in the beginning and then like yell at them and then yell at the rest of us about like what they think is the correct answer, and they will like assign puzzles to people for better or worse. Like
it is handy having somebody like being the facilitator.
Yeah.
Which is actually, this is the thing I like about escape rooms over the way True Dungeon does it, because True Dungeon, your party goes into a room, there's a puzzle, and you all have to solve it. And in my experience, what frequently happens is that everybody is shouting what they think the answer is or how we should solve it and not listening to each other. And then the time runs out and we go to the next room.
Yeah.
But like an escape room, right? There's a lot of pieces, and ideally there's enough for your whole party. So there was that one year for my birthday where there was not, and in the end I ended up standing in the back while two people solved the last puzzle. But in general, there's enough for everybody to do, right? So making sure that somebody's got all the pieces and that their answers are getting passed along, because usually you solve the puzzle and it connects to another puzzle, and then you get the answer to the third puzzle. Is handy. I don't like being that person because I want to solve puzzles, but
yeah.
I'm excited for that to be a thing we can do again.
Yeah.
I've been watching Crime Scene Kitchen. I don't remember if I talked about this on the Hangout before. It is delightfully bonkers. It's a cooking reality show, and so they stage like evidence of a dessert that has been cooked in their kitchen, and then the teams go through and they gather evidence, and then they have to make the dessert that they think the evidence was from.
Nice.
So like a cheesecake. So there's like the parchment paper that the crust was on, and the ring form pan in the dishwasher, and it is delightfully bonkers, a lot because of the fact that these people, they are good at baking, they are not good at escape rooms. So they walk in, and admittedly, like we as the audience, the camera does the thing where it like zooms in on the important clue that they've just like walked past. But still, like several times in the early game, they're getting better as they get used to it. I was like, read the thing, read it, because they're all like, oh, this is cocoa, okay. And it had an old expiration date written on top of it, which is telling you that it's a red herring because it has expired. Because they do put red herring sometimes. So then a bunch of people put cocoa in their dessert. No, it wasn't there. But just like the strategy too, man. They may be wanting them to talk as they go along to be good for the camera. But if I was doing that in an escape room, like you got the kitchen and say, oh, it's 2-person team, say I was there with my sister, I'd be like, hey, you start there, I'll start there. We'll like meet at the middle. We will check like
pause the place first.
Yeah.
We will bring all the clues to the center.
Turn everything upside down in case there's a clue under it.
I mean,
because in the beginning, the number of people who like they have a GoPro like in the garbage can so that it can see them like reaching in. The number of people who like you see their little face, and then they shut it again. and then they've missed some of the things that were in the garbage because they just looked, and there's like 2 things and one was on top of the other. I was like, take it out. They give them rubber gloves, and it's not anything gross anyway. It's like, oh, crumpled
It's
parchment
like staged garbage.
Yeah.
How bad could it be? It's not like you're gonna reach in looking for eggshells and like stick your hand in a diaper.
Oh man,
That's
what
not how you
dessert?
load a dishwasher.
Or maybe that's the red herring.
Well, you aren't going to stick your hand.
Oh,
in the
catch
diaper.
it!
What dessert is this?
Well, I watched an episode with my parents, and they were like, so are there any red herrings? Like, I mean, all the stuff that we saw in the kitchen like went into their bake. I'm like, yeah, there's not a ton of red herrings. They don't make it that hard on these people. I mean, they should. It would be really exciting then, but partially it's because even if you guess the right thing, it has to, if 2 people guess right, the one that is baked better is the one that wins. So you have to like not have your souffle like completely collapse or something in case the souffle stays up. And so there is some of the usual sort of cooking, like, oh, the oven like got bumped and it turned off and we didn't have the cooking time kind of cooking show type jazz. But
You know, I love the idea of getting a little treat at the end of my escape room. Like if I've successfully escaped, I don't want just a photo. I want a baked good.
Seriously.
but is it the same if you just baked it yourself? Because I feel like a treat of what you just baked yourself is like,
Yeah.
that's no fun.
So you all get a baked treat and you all eat it and they go, okay, one of those was poisoned. You get to figure out which one now. You got 30 minutes. Find the antidote.
If you don't figure it out in 30 minutes, you will figure it out in 30 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
For years, for my birthday, we would go to an escape room in downtown Seattle and then go get brunch at this Mexican place nearby. So like escape room, tacos. That's what the treat is.
That's
But
a good combo.
your mileage may vary.
I don't know if you guys remember, like in the 90s in Seattle, there was this really cool place. It was like, I remember it was sponsored by like Paul Allen and stuff, but you went in and there was like a big central bar everyone went to, but then branching off of that were all these rooms that had giant puzzles set up and like things and games like where you'd all get together and like there was an assembly line one where you had to all like assemble these blocks into shapes and thing. And then they had a game show in another room where you all could go in and participate in this game show. It was like this really cool, innovative, like it was like probably, you know, would be hugely successful now. I don't know how well it did at the time, but it was pretty cool though. I remember going there several times. So I guess by the blank faces, no one else remembers it.
I didn't live here and I wouldn't have been allowed in a bar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm old and local. Okay. Cool.
That is your Tinder profile.
That's right. Old and local.
Swipe right, please.
But are you prepared to go on adventures? Aaron knows what I'm referencing.
I retweeted it. It's like a TikTok video of this guy who's like singing a song about how all the boring people on Twitter say they love going on adventures, but when you ask them if they want to fly to Cambodia to excavate the lost ruins of Batabang to find the secret artifacts and hold a seance for the what was her name? The Krasu? There's a ghost of a girl whose guts are hanging out and she eats all the cattle, but you have to beat these pirates to get there. It goes on forever and it's so funny. So if you have not seen that TikTok, you should go on Twitter and find at Aaron M. Evans, because I'm pretty sure it's the last thing I did. My very lazy Twitter account. But I don't want to be on TikTok because I think it would be a combination of frustrating and distracting. But I love when people find the really good TikToks for me.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like Meyer Doug is really good at that.
Anything except Facebook. Like no Twitter, no TikTok, no Instagram, no anything. Yeah. And then people are always like, "Oh, add me on Twitter or add me on Instagram or something." I'm like, "No, I refuse."
Yeah, I think I pretty much am only on Twitter, mostly for Dungeon Scroller stuff, and then these days, and then yeah. I keep trying to do other things Instagram. I've avoided Twitter, TikTok just because in the early days I thought there was like all these concerns that basically they had all kinds of like spyware embedded in it or something. I don't remember. There was like some kind of, wasn't there like some?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
concern
it was owned
about
by a Chinese company, and they're spying on all our phones and TikToks and such.
Oh wow.
And then they
I don't
gave
know
up
how
because
real it is.
everyone's lives were super boring.
Yeah. Watch
Well-
me do this dance. Ooh, you got money now. You got my number. You can use that as blackmail later. So
Yeah,
what's the point in
Google's
spying on
listening in.
TikTok?
Google's listening in, Amazon's listening in. It's always happening.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5 minutes. Does anybody want us to have any other story before I say like the pregnancy murder mystery? Just
Wait,
watch our
what?
viewership drop by like 20 people.
Watched a TikTok of a guy who rates emergency broadcast system alarms in different countries.
Ooh, that's a
That
good
was
one.
also quite entertaining.
Yeah.
Poland's is freaky. It sounds like a lullaby for a ghost child, which is alarming in a different way.
Yeah, that doesn't really scream emergency to me.
No, but it does make you want to hide.
Okay, so I did this murder mystery dinner party like online a week ago, and all of us were somebody from Transylvania. We're a different monster. So I was Frankenstein, other people were Dracula, the Wolfman, etc., etc. It starts off great. We get a packet of who we are, what we've been up to, and then we get some clues as to like some hooks, like, oh, ask the Wolfman about his vacation, etc. Everything's so totally normal. Then we begin, and the first thing I hear when I enter the room is, oh, Frankenstein, have you met your wife, Bernice? And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know it was
you met
married.
your wife.
Yeah, and B, Bernice? Like, anyways, so no, I had not met my wife, Bernice. I had no idea that was her name. That's great. And then everybody starts coming up to me and then asking me, Frankenstein, about my conception problems. I had no idea. I was just like, hey, how's your vacation, man? And everybody else like, yeah. How's your junk doing? You and Bernice, I heard you've been trying to make babies and it doesn't work. And I'm like, I don't really know what to say to. I'm like, yeah, it's been hard. Anyways, like phase 2 goes on. And as it turns out, like, who can and cannot make babies in this monster world becomes like the most important central part of the mystery, because the big motivation behind it is that there was a spell to hide. Yes,
Speaking.
exactly. Spell to hide pregnancy. And a spell to pretend like other people were pregnant. So by the end of the night, like none of the hooks, yeah.
Okay.
None of the hooks about anything else, like vacations or whatever, they were all just tossed out the window. And it all became like a finger pointing fest about like, your child is not your child. You got cheated on by this person. You're like, you can't make babies. Your junk doesn't work. And like, it was just
Oh my
bonkers.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I just feel like this needs a like content warning.
It did. Yeah. It had nothing,
Wow.
it had nothing.
You didn't. So I'm also confused. Like you walked into that with like knowledge about your character, but nobody said, by the way, you have erectile dysfunction, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Also, I'm hoping they like vetted who was attending. Because like if there was someone who was like going through IVF or something like that, that's just not
Right.
cool, right?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they did not vet who was attending. So,
Yeah.
we're all
Wild.
confused. We're all like really confused.
Oh my
but-
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Emily, I think we hear Enzo in the background. You are now
You're
muted.
muted now.
I'm gonna go get some more chai. I'm probably gonna need it by the end. This is my ritual. I get chai and I drink it, so I'm alert during the show, and then I'm up till like 4 a.m. So, and then that just, but this becomes like my weekend. Like somehow this
The opposite of
Wednesday
chai.
has become my like
Hey,
Friday.
That's what
Hey.
I need to go get. My
Yeah.
Fancy.
my D&D cocktail.
Yes.
I'm also team upper, not team downer.
I'm just getting in spirit for the game.
This game
In
brought
spirits.
to you by Woodinville Bourbon Whiskey.
I am
Woodinville,
with Steven.
that town to the east of Seattle.
That place
And
makes
north.
really good maple syrup in their bourbon barrels, by the way.
Hmm.
If anybody hasn't gotten to try that.
Bet they do.
Astonishing.
have
I
to
am
remember
in the
that
same
from
team
my
as
father's birthday.
Steven of the cocktail in the can that I don't have to mix for tonight. I do like mixing a cocktail, but I don't want one more thing to do on a Wednesday.
Yeah, just watch out. Watch
Careful
out
the serving
Oh
size.
Yeah.
no, yeah, I am definitely a one drink lady. So one can through the evening is more than enough.
Beware the pink Cosmo.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're at 6:26. Does anybody have anything else to say before we go into a slight break before we start?
Blago, 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 blago.
Welcome back, Emily. Okay, we will see everybody in a few minutes.